Well, they're expecting this weekend to be the first big getaway of the summer. 24,000 people expected through these check-in desks over the next 3 days, travelling to 50 destinations right around the world. But tourism businesses in Yorkshire say they've seen a massive increase in people wanting to holiday at home, especially in the last 4 weeks. Home or abroad, this year's holiday season is about to take off. At Leeds Bradford, they send 60 flights on their way every single day over summer.
355, close the pass from the left when established, descend on the glide path.
But with some experts predicting that a weaker pound could put people off taking trips abroad, is the tourism industry starting to suffer?
When they get to the resort, I think you'll find that the hoteliers and the tourist providers are providing great value for money. So any short-term changes in terms of the exchange rate, I'm sure will be offset by the great benefits of great deals and, of course, the fantastic choice that's available.
It doesn't really matter to us, so we just wanted to go on holiday, so it hasn't bothered us at all. And we've got a good price for our euros anyway, so I'm not particularly bothered.
We booked it a long time ago, so it was just a case of the euro to buy, but it's always going to go up and down, so just take it as it comes.
Do you think it will influence where you decide to travel in the future?
No, but it will make us consider if we can afford to travel.
Travel agents like this one in Wakefield are noticing a change in booking patterns, but they say it's influences like terrorism that are having much more of an effect than the price of the euro.
Already for this summer, Egypt is out of action, Tunisia and Turkey as well as. So we feel that English people will travel to European countries as they have been in the past. There's not much of a changing destination for the sake of the weakened pound. That's not the case.
But there are reports of an increase in staycations too. Forest Holidays log cabins near Pickering feel they're reaping the rewards since the referendum.
There's been an increase in last-minute bookings since then. I guess people held on to see what the effect was going to be. Some people have chosen to holiday in the UK this year as a consequence of the changing pound and the fluctuating currency. Our repeat guests are still with us, which is very pleasing for us, and haven't changed their habits, but we are getting a lot more first-timers.
Yorkshire's grandest of Grand Départ in 2014 brought in 2.5 million spectators to the region. But will Brexit cause the wheels to come off plans to host more major international events?
The Tour de France has just been in Switzerland, which is not in the EU. There were massive crowds there, and it was highly successful, so I wouldn't have thought it would make the slightest bit of difference.
Brexit or no Brexit, whether you're staying at home or like these passengers heading further afield, it seems, for now at least, it's business as usual. Well, a record 3.5 million passengers travelled through Leeds Bradford Airport in the last year. But what happens when all those tourists arrive in Europe? How does Brexit affect the pound or the euro in their pockets? Matt Price is in the Costa del Sol to find out.
It might only be a couple of thousand miles away from home, but you'd be surprised how the value of the pound changes on that short flight over to Spain. Granted, many of us don't look at exchange rates when we go on holiday, but take a look back 12 months and you'd be surprised to see how the cost of holidaying abroad has got that little bit more expensive. And it's all to do with the value of the British pound. Alex and Charlotte have been coming here for years, a haven for families in search of sun, sea and relaxation. But money matters, and when you're travelling with children, meet 5-year-old Bella and Summer, who's 4, what you get per pound is very important.
Yeah, it's certainly more expensive. The exchange rate's a lot worse. We've noticed that, especially when we're changing the currency. So we have to be a bit more creative about how we do that.
Food's definitely been more expensive. Like when we've been to the supermarket, it's been quite a bit more, hasn't it?
Alex told me how he took his family out for a meal last night, costing €60. So compared to last year, did his wallet take a hit?
By my calculations, you've lost £8 on a meal. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, it's significant, isn't it? It's quite a bit of money, really, and especially if you times that over the week and how many meals you are going out for. It certainly makes a big difference in what a holiday costs you.
The strength of the pound against the euro has been on its own journey of late. Sitting steady in July 2014, we were getting around €1.25 for each pound. Better rates in July last year, though, at €1.41. But it's been on a downward trend for much of the year, perhaps due to the EU referendum, meaning today we get just €1.19 for each pound we spend. So what does this mean in the real world? Well, over the last year, the price of a beer has increased by around 36 pence, a soft drink going up by 18p, and a pound has been added to the price of an average pizza. What will happen in the future is unknown, and that uncertainty concerns Jesus. His beachside barbecue relies on tourist trade.
Well, yes, in one way, yes, we worry the pound is not so strong, and for us, for the tourist industry, it will be important that it will be bad for us, because we know have so many tourists when the pound is low than when the pound is high.
But Spain is a country drawing in 12 million Brits each year, among them Stuart and Wilma, who've been holidaying in the Costas all of their lives and own an apartment. With political uncertainty in other countries, a weak pound will never affect tourism here, they say.
I wouldn't have thought so.
I think there's enough going on in Turkey and places like that. I mean, we've noticed it seems to be busier this year than it was this time last year.
Meanwhile, as the Spanish enjoy a siesta, we find Dave running his British bar. He's a glass-half-full man, unfazed by the currency back at home.
I don't think at the present it has made much effect on us this year because of the holidays are already booked, they're already coming, and they have to put up with what it is like. Next year may be different, but next year it may have recovered.
Perhaps it's a fair assumption to say that Brits will never stop holidaying in Europe based on the strength of the pound. But next time you're ordering a drink or a bite to eat, think, do you really know the true cost of what you're spending on holiday? Matt Price, ITV News on the Costa del Sol.